Welcome to Southern Cooking Made Simple, y'all. Today I made a Long John Silver's complete meal, fish and chips, and it was absolutely delicious. You're going to love these recipes. I started out with some tilapia fillets, and I thawed those out, set those aside, and 3 days ago I sliced up 6 Idaho potatoes, and I had them soaking in ice water in the refrigerator. Soaking the potatoes in the refrigerator in ice water just ensures their crispness in the end, and they're just as crunchy and more delicious, I think, than McDonald's. You don't have to go anywhere to get them. They don't have 16 ingredients. Mine only has 4. Now today I take that back. I used 5 because in my grease I had a little bit of beef fat from where I've been making hamburgers and saving my grease. Every time I make anything beef, I save my grease in the refrigerator, and then I have it when I go to make my French fries. And that's the one thing that makes McDonald's French fries taste the way they do. And so it's potatoes, water, salt, oil, and now a little bit of beef fat. I started with some tilapia fillets and just made a little bit of a batter, and all the recipe and everything's here. I put a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder in there, self-rising cornmeal and water, and salt and pepper, and I made it real runny. And then I took that, after I dipped the tilapia fillets, I cut those tilapia fillets in half, easy for me to say. And after I cut them in half, right down the middle, I dredged them through the batter, a thin batter, and then through flour. And I fried the fillets till they were 3/4 done, and then I drained those on paper towels and set them aside. And then later, when everything's ready to serve, I run them through the oil again, and that gets them real crunchy. Heat your oil to 350 degrees through this whole application. Everything I cooked today, I fried it all on 350 degrees, and try to maintain that heat all the way through. Drop the fries in, and each time you drop in a handful, give that grease enough time to get hot again before you throw in more fries. And that way, your grease doesn't drop below temperature, and your French fries stay much crispier. If that grease drops below 350, you're going to have a soggy French fry. And when you fry them that second time, it makes them very crisp. And then sometimes if it's gonna be an hour or so before we eat, I always run my French fries through the hot grease again before we eat, and that ensures they're crisp as can be, no matter when you eat. Or you could put them in the oven and heat them back up too. It's delicious. You're gonna love this recipe. You don't have to add the beef fat, but I had it, and that's what McDonald's does, and I love their French fries, so I put it in there. Now, spread your French fries out when you're done. Don't stack them so they'll steam, because they just lose their crispness. And if you lay them out like that and just let them drain out on some paper towels, soaking the French fries in the ice cold water at least overnight is imperative. But the longer you let it soak, the more crispy they will be. Now, when you're making the tilapia fillets, drop them through the batter and then dredge them in a little bit of flour and coat it real good with the flour, and then run that in through the hot grease. And allow them to cook about 3/4 of the way through, and then drain them on paper towels, and then set those aside. And when they cool, it just allows them to get real crisp on the final frying time. Now sometimes I run my fish and fries through 3 times. It just depends on how long I have to wait before we can eat after it's done, because you need to run it right through that grease, right out onto your plate. At McDonald's, they only make you wait 7 minutes is the longest you can wait to eat your French fries. Anything after that, they can't guarantee they'll be crisp. I don't know if you knew that or not. They throw them out if they have any left over. They won't let them sit there because they get hard and real crunchy. Super crunchy. Now, I served this meal today with malt vinegar and salt, and ketchup, of course, for the French fries. And see how crispy they get the more times you fry them? And something about letting them cool over on the side there, and then frying them again, they get real crispy. That's how they do them at restaurants. They just keep putting them back into the hot grease while they're fixing your meal, and then by the time you get them, you don't know how many times they've been fried. They say McDonald's has been fried 5 times. Now mine today, I fried mine a total of 3 times because it was about an hour after I completed the meal before I made plates. And I just run them through the hot oil again. Now, McDonald's has 16 ingredients. Today, I give you 4 ingredients because the beef fat is optional. And that was something I had in the fridge. But I know you'll all have potatoes, water, salt, and oil in your house. This is a delicious recipe. You're going to love this. My mom always taught me to put my potatoes in ice water and soak them in the refrigerator for days. Mine was even frozen a little bit on top when I got it out. I see there how I make Crispies. You just get them on the end of your finger and drop them in. It's absolutely delicious. Now this coleslaw can be made in any amount. It's just cabbage grated and carrot and a little bit of minced onion, salt, pepper, mayonnaise, buttermilk, and enough sweet milk to cover it, and a 1/4 cup of Greek plain yogurt. And that makes it real creamy and delicious. The crispiness, the flakiness, the crunchiness of the fish, the moistness on the inside, the deliciousness and the tangy along with the sweet of the coleslaw, and then the malt vinegar. I love vinegar in any configuration you can find vinegar. I love it, and malt vinegar is just to me that's a little bit of icing on the cake, but it's absolutely delicious. Y'all, yummy. That's what I'm talking about. And those crunchies on that coleslaw makes my mouth water sitting here watching myself eat. It was so much fun making this meal today. I love to cook. There's just something about recreating a delicious meal that just makes me happy inside, especially when I nail it the way I did this one. But I've been practicing on this for quite a while, and it just takes a little bit of practice and a whole lot of know-how. I hope you enjoy these half as much as we did. I used a self-rising cornmeal mix, some Greek yogurt, egg, scallions, and a package of dry, zesty Italian dressing mix to make my hush puppies. Almost called them a fritter. This is Southern Cooking Made Simple, y'all. And it totally is that. When you think about it, it is so simple to do Southern cooking. If you are a little bit of a cook at all, you're going to love my channel. This is Southern Cooking Made Simple, y'all. Simple, easy to understand recipes, straightforward and to the point, no messing around, as quick as I can bring them to you. Some of the best Southern recipes you'll ever sink a tooth into. Y'all come back now. Here.